Okay, what's up, guys? Episode 2 of The Dylan Show. Here are guests if you want to introduce yourselves.
I'm Mark.
I'm Enrique. I am the co-host of the Dylan Show.
Also known as Troubleman, and Dylan
Yes.
himself.
Hi.
All right. So we have many topics to cover in this video. So let's begin with Mark.
Okay, do you want to tell
Hey
us your
guys,
story?
I'd love to tell you my story. Also, thanks for having me on. Great show.
No problem.
So,
No problem.
you know, I was punting a football, you know, and when I punted the football, my shoe wasn't tied very well, so my shoe flew off, landed on the roof, got stuck there, had to go home without a shoe.
I also heard there was what was the reactions
Every-
of the people?
Everyone
Of the
started
people.
Well,
dying. Like
Well, I
laughing.
mean, a lot of people started laughing at the incident. And, when I was going home, they were cheering me and clapping for me.
I think
So
Dylan
you
was a
were,
witness of the clapping and cheering.
yeah. So you almost
was.
felt like a Dylan. Like you felt like Dylan in that moment because you pulled off something so memorable.
So powerful.
Well, I have to agree with you on that because, when Dylan broke the wall, that was very memorable. And, yeah.
And it was a big significance of
This
the
Yeah.
revolution will begin very soon.
It is
And
a
I
trend
have
that
a
is
question for
sweeping
you.
the nation.
I have a question for you, Mark. So, what were your first
Yes.
thoughts when you punted the football and your shoe went up the roof? Like, I saw it, but what were your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I was laughing, and I was hopeful that I would get it down so I could go home with a shoe. But yeah, it was pretty
I
funny.
wasn't.
It ended up. You ended up going home with only one shoe.
Yes.
Oh, man. Amazing story.
Amazing story by Mark.
Do you have any
Yeah.
thoughts, Dylan?
Well, as a man who used a shoe to kick a hole in the wall, shoes are very important. And losing one on a roof is very memorable. Without the shoe, who's going to break the holes in the I don't want
Yeah.
splinters in my foot.
That's actually one downside. Like, how are you gonna break walls without a shoe?
I absolutely agree 100% because it's not.
Well, I mean,
it's
I
not
actually have
physically
to.
possible.
Well,
I
I
mean,
actually have to agree.
You can break walls with without shoes, but it will hurt a lot.
It will. It probably a broken toe.
Well, yeah, you'll probably mess up your foot or something.
Well, it's a sacrifice that we have
But
to make. I mean,
whenever you have your shoe, you have more protection.
It's a sacrifice we'll have to make to make our school.
Yeah,
a better place,
I agree.
you
I
know?
completely agree.
Yeah,
yeah, and that's just something that we have to.
we have to.
We
take
have to
that.
accept.
Yeah, the truth
But you
is
can
the
still break
reality
walls
of that
with one shoe.
was you did a very brave and honorable thing. You could have you probably prevented a wildfire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did. There was
The
a
reality
wildfire
of it is that Mark.
advisory. They were on high alert because they thought there would be a wildfire, and I single-handedly prevented the wildfire from
Mark
happening. I
single
saved countless of lives.
Just amazing.
in reality, Mark has done many things, not just stopping a wildfire, but stopping the absolute decimation of our world, the Earth.
I gotta agree with that.
Like,
So has Dylan. Dylan has caused country changing decisions. He has made life changing decisions that have made everyone's life better.
Speaking
Well-
of speaking of country changing, I was absent on 2 days of the week due to my trip to Afghanistan, where I single handedly stopped the Al Qaeda terrorist organization.
That's very
Well,
honorable. How did you stop
personally,
them?
That is very honorable. Did you kick
I'd like
holes?
to thank you again for having me on, but I also like to use my voice here on the Dylan Show to tell everyone to break walls and to tell everyone that you should get your shoes stuck on the roof by punting a football.
So that's so
Yes.
inspirational.
It's really
Mark is an extremely
I'd also like to
inspirational
give you
person.
some tips.
He
on how to-
is the next Gandhi of our generation.
the next Mike Tyson
Well-
man. but
I want to inspire people, and I want to use my voice to inspire
just
people.
like Dylan.
Yeah.
His
So
voice, his
I wanna
voice
This is my
will be
product.
heard throughout generations and
The
generations.
generations will span. First
I
it
wanna
was Dylan,
give a
now it is Mark.
want to give a few tips on how to get your shoe stuck on the roof. Firstly, you know, you have to have your shoe untied or not tied very well, just like I did. Now, you have to be close to a roof and punt the football until it finally happens.
Yeah,
Yes,
I agree, 100%.
100%.
And you know,
And
I really, when you think about the two actions, the hole in the wall and the football kick up, they're very similar. But I honestly, not to be rude or anything, I felt like Dylan's, the hole in the wall served a much better view, cause that just changed like our lifestyle. The shoe changed
our,
the orbit of the earth and everything. Like they're
Well,
both
I
it
actually have
giant
to agree
things.
with
well,
that
well, let's
personally.
be honest here. Dylan's hole in the wall changed our perspective of the government, of the totalitarian government of our school.
I like.
Well, I actually have to agree
It
with that. I
showed
mean,
the brutal reality that this government that has been brainwashing us like
the
we're kind of
Communist
it's like we're some kind of
Manifesto.
mindless zombies, like mindless communist zombies. It's absolutely ridiculous.
This
Well,
But
communism
what
actually,
needs to
but
stop.
what Dylan did was the significance. It showed that there is hope against this
I,
totalitarian government.
well, I actually have to agree with that.
And it's
The
by
shoe
kicking
was
holes in them.
temporary, but the hole in the wall was more permanent. I mean, you could go and see the hole in the wall, but the shoe.
The hole in the wall is still not
And here's the
repaired,
thing,
and
the
that shows power that you can make a difference in the world.
Yeah. And here's the thing. They try to cover it up. But it's still
Yeah,
there and it will always be there.
It's never
they
gonna go
used a
away.
garbage bag and duct tape.
That's not gonna stop this revolution. That
We
Wait, I'd like to give this time to Dylan.
Dylan, any thoughts?
No, I don't have any. They all
Yes, let the master not master process his
Yes.
thoughts about this situation.
He's a genius.
Indubitably, I have to agree. So,
In conclusion,
in
holes
conclusion,
and
Mark.
shoes are needed.
In conclusion, there is hope.
I agree with what Dylan just said right
There-
now. Can
there
you
is-
just say that one more time so the audience can hear?
In conclusion, holes and shoes are needed in this society.
It's
Boom.
It
'Cause-
is a necessity for society.
Because
Really
we
is.
live in a society. We live in a society.
In a society where people try to patch up holes in the wall.
Yeah.
yeah, you know, that's not right, man. That's just like messed up.
Yes.
That's
And in 2022, we will cut all walls in half.
we will.
Just as an
We're
Irishman
culture.
said, our freedom will be the laughter of our children.
And I'm pretty sure Mike Tyson said this. The smartest people aren't always smart, you know. You know, it's
Well,
always.
I actually have an inspirational quote. To all of the haters who didn't support the wall breaking, and to all the haters who do not support the shoe incident, you cannot silence us because when you cut off a man's tongue, it just shows that you are afraid of what he has to say.
I have to agree.
Criticism is the hardest thing on people, and sometimes you just need criticism, you know.
Indeed.
Well, I agree, some is good.
It's a constitutional right.
Yeah. And when you're silenced like that, we have to protest, you know. It's just a way of life.
Silencing us is just the way of cowardness.
When tyranny becomes law, resistance becomes duty.
I agree.
So, do we have any more topics to go over with?
I really don't think so. I think that about wraps it
No.
up for at least 2
That's
weeks.
really that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank
I
you
want to
for.
announce Dylan's presidential campaign.
Oh yes.
by the way.
I'm pretty sure this wraps it all up. Thank you, Mark, for coming to this host. Thank you for making the thumbnails. He's been making our thumbnails, really good ones. Thank you again for Dylan to come. Thanks for Enrique. And yeah, that about wraps it up. Thank you for watching and goodbye.